special session? Well, that's
Do
in the
pictures of that, huh? Or do you do pictures all the time?
I mean, yeah, I usually take at least one. It's mostly the same poses every week. It's just like them sitting at the table, but you know, we kind of got some
don't have the
interesting
right
stuff
program already?
today.
We were working on that.
Harley. The title is good. Harley, who got the one over right before?
Harley Moore. No, I thought it was Harley. Hey, thank you, sir. See, I mean, click on this one.
I don't remember if we did that or
No, but it went on, I think I forwarded you the first.
At our, but we pull it out of our fund balance. We approved it for last year. So we know we pull that out of fund balance, but we might have done that in ARPA. I kind of, now that you say that, I kind of think we did that out of ARPA. Of course, it doesn't matter, we can pay that ARPA. Are we at our start time? Do we have a official clock? 9:30. 9:30? All right. We'll call this meeting of the Young County Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show it is 9:30 a.m. All members of the court are present. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel. And if you're watching and wish to make a comment, you may call 940-221-2107. Today, Commissioner Wiley has the honors. If you can please stand for our prayer and our pledges.
Let's pray. Father, we come before you today, we want to say thank you, Father, for another day. New day of mercy and grace, Father. Father, we just ask, Father, that you be with us today, Father. Be with the family of the Gall family today, Father, and the lost and loved one, Father. We just ask that you comfort them, Father, and just embrace them during this time. Father, we just ask that you be with the family of the young lady in Windthorpe too, Father, and lost her life on Friday. Father, just go with them, be guide and direct them. Father, today we just ask that you be with us in court. We ask, Father, that your hand be upon us, Father, and give us wisdom, courage, and understanding, Father. And Father, above all we do, honor and glorify you. Father, we just thank you for the rain that's about to come this way, Father. We thank you for that, Father, and we just ask, Father, that you would just fill up our lakes and our tanks, Father. Go with us, guide and direct us. Forgive us, Father, when we fail you. We ask all this in your precious name. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
All right, item number 3, public comments. Mr. Garrity.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Morning.
For the record, I'm Eric Garrity. I'm the city manager of the city of Graham, a resident of Young County. It's a pleasure being here with you this morning. I just wanted to update you on a couple of things going on around the square. First thing is, we got the big trunk or treat coming up, October 31st, right? What we're doing this year is we're trying to keep all the trunks and everybody on the southern half of the square.
and leave this northern half around the courthouse for parking, especially with people with small kids. There'll be a little change to the traffic pattern to do that, but we're trying to make everything flow nicely. And we hope everybody comes out and has a great time at Trunk or Treat on October 31st. The other thing we want to mention, this Thursday, council will be acting to accept donation from High Ridge Church and some members of the Ministerial Alliance. They're donating a brand new Christmas tree, 23 feet tall, to go in front of the arch. It's promising to be really nice, and we're all looking forward to that and seeing that out there as we start. Christmas will be here before you know it, right? It's coming up right on us. The other thing that I wanted to mention on behalf of the Old Post Office Museum and Art Center, if you haven't really noticed it, if you don't walk through the square, you don't notice it. If you go out right behind where you are, between where CBB and the chamber is and the old post office, there was an old, on your right, as you walk that way, there was an old dingy looking electrical box out there, right? They've gone and painted a mural on it. And if you haven't noticed it, it looks really nice. It's a pastoral Young County scene. If you get a chance, go over to Carter Pettit and his team did a really great job on it. And once again, it contributes to our beautiful square. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Miss Susie?
Okay. My back didn't like that. I'm here today to represent Virginia's House Board of Directors, staff, and volunteers. We're a nonprofit, and we serve the children and families of Young County and other counties who might have gone through something traumatic like abuse and neglect. Recently, we opened the mailbox and we had this awesome, unbelievable check from Young County, and I didn't think it was real, so I contacted Wynn, who's my next door neighbor of Virginia's House, and said, "Is this real?" And he said, "It's real." So the obvious reason I'm here today is we want to say thank you very much, and thank you for considering the work that we do. However, we know that it's a huge responsibility, and we take it on that way. The board is working on a plan because it needs to be budgeted, and we know that as custodians of such a wonderful gift. Over the next 2 or 3 years, we are looking at how we can serve Young County in a way that we were not able to before. So these are unrestricted funds, but restricted to the cause and mission of our organization. And if you so would like me to do so, later on I can tell you more about how we plan to use the funds. But it will be through outreach education in Young County, and especially in schools, but also for volunteers and our partnering agencies that support Young County and the wonderful community of Graham, so that we can be just out there doing the work that we need to, and hopefully a more robust manner. You might not even know it, but we'll be there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susie. Appreciate it. Come on up.
Okay.
Thank you. Melanie Berry, Senator Stringer's office, and I just wanted to remind everyone to get out and vote in November. There are some 14 amendments that will be on the November ballot. A couple of them I mentioned to you. Proposition 1, the right to farm, and it just protects a lot of our rural way of life. Most importantly, there's also, I've already missed it, the amendment for the water, in the water infrastructure. And I want to also thank Sheriff Babcock, Olney's resident Tom Parker, Kathy Partridge, and Kaylee Strickland, especially Kathy Partridge and Kaylee Strickland. They brought a group to Austin, and they met at least 12, probably 14 elected officials. And they asked questions and also talked about the importance of water infrastructure for Young County. And that helped, because now it's on the ballot and it may not have been otherwise. And so, again, Sheriff Babcock, so greatly appreciate y'all.
Definitely something both the city of Graham and the city all need. They have huge
Yes.
water infrastructure needs right now. So
But the
it's
best,
great news.
yes, but the best advocates for Young County are Young County residents. Politicians, they know lobbyists. They're more willing to talk to residents and know it's important. So appreciate y'all coming to Austin and talking, especially with Simmersburg, and giving us something to think about.
Thank you so
Y'all
much.
turn out the vote.
Anyone else in open forum? Public comments? All right, we'll move to item number 4, which is consider the county clerk minutes from the previous meeting. Any comments or suggestions of changes?
So,
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Crespo. Any comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 5, consider the treasurer's financial report updates on securities pledged. Mr. Treasurer?
There's no update.
No report today. Consider acceptance of map and scrapbook donations to Young County from the Young County Historical Commission for the 1921 jail. There's multiple copies of checks in your packet. They total $262.90. We have a motion to accept. Motion from Commissioner Rogers. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Crespo. Any comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 6, consider the auditor's budget amendments, vouchers payable.
We still have FY '23, some of those, and FY '24, so I'll start with '23. The total is $23,615.31. And out of the general is $20,471.95. And that's FY. You need to go ahead and do both of them? Or-
Sure, please.
Okay. Then FY '24, the total is $74,452.24. And out of the general is $42,842.14. And there is no Don's butane in either one, so.
Motion for Commissioner Wiley to accept. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Creswell. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Were you able to figure out the hot tax? Okay.
Also want to ask about, the furniture in the district judge's office, Scott Waterloo, it's pretty damaged. He's looked at
In this office?
district judge,
Really?
yes.
Okay.
Remember what was leaking where she
Well,
was?
first off, the big desk that he uses belongs to him.
Judge
Belongs to
Bristow?
Judge Bristow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the credenza where there was a leak came down and the whole back of that credenza had got.
Oh, this happened a while ago.
A while ago, but we didn't know it until we started moving things around and it literally kind of fell apart on us trying to move it, so we just left it.
Judge Gregory has gone and he's priced some furniture. Of course, he doesn't have the money in his budget for furniture. There could be some in county and district court furniture, but I don't think there's this much. For a desk, a credenza, and a chair, around $2,500, and he said he would probably come in under that. But I asked if we could take that out of contingency to get him set up in the office.
Okay.
make that motion.
All right. And so the motion is to take money out of the contingency to acquire furniture for
District judge.
the district judge office? All right, so that's a motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Shipp. Are any questions? All in favor?
Up
Any-
to 2,500 should not be.
Okay. I'm sorry, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Yeah, so I asked our auditor about how much money we have in our hot tax kind of collections. I sent letters out to a bunch of the property owners around Fort Belknap to see if anyone was interested in selling their property with the idea of a parking lot for crawfish and cannons, for if we have a festival out there, a place to put food trucks, just maybe a way that we can accommodate more people on Fort Belknap with the cars, more people on Fort Belknap, but maybe less cars at Fort Belknap. and I have someone who's interested, so, unless I get a feeling that this is a bad idea, I was gonna try to figure out what a fair value for that property is, and try to feel out and see exactly how serious it is.
How much acres is
2 acres. Yeah, it's a 2-acre rectangle. So, it's clean. Yeah, it's, I'm sorry, what? No, it's just, I don't, it's some kind of plant on it. I don't know if it's being farmed or if it's just natural grasses, but it's just an open pasture. So, okay, well, hopefully I'll have something formal to bring to Commissioner's Court in the weeks coming up, but,
We're gonna talk about the kids on the,
yes.
That's.
Oh, yeah, I knew we had that on the agenda, I didn't realize it was, up in your part. All right, give us the bad news.
It's all good, we just gotta figure out how to get there, so thank you. So I appreciate it, Commissioners and Judge. We received one proposal and bid when we put out our bids for the Young County Annex renovation project. Our original budget on this project was, for the hard construction portion of itself, was right around $800,000 going into this. As everybody knows, commercial construction, any kind of construction right now is really volatile. Also, just many things we're looking at. We put these bids out to multiple places. I have a list of general contractors throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth and the whole kind of wider metroplex that we try to get bidding on our projects. We also put it in plain rooms up in Wichita Falls. We put it in the Dallas-Fort Worth plain rooms. And what plain rooms are, just in general, is a place where any contractors, subcontractors can go to one location, see what projects are potentially available to bid on, and submit their bids through that, and then it comes back. And talking with the 2 plain rooms throughout Dallas-Fort Worth as well as Wichita Falls, they got nobody interested in the project. I had a couple people, 2 contractors that were supposed to show up for the pre-bid, which was not a mandatory pre-bid, it was just an opportunity for anybody to come in, walk through the building, look at the building that they may need to. We did have the one contractor that did show up to that building very thoroughly, evaluated what was inside the building, looked at what was existing, what had been done. I know Commissioner Wiley's been doing a lot of demo throughout the building to try to get prepared for the construction. And that is the one contractor that submitted this proposal, Man-Made Construction. They are out of Bridgeport, Texas. So they have got currently projects all throughout Wichita Falls, I believe a couple others around this area as well. They're currently actively working on. They submitted one proposal, their proposal coming in at $1,149,000. It's always important to note, they do have some clarifications in there. It's important to note not what is included, but what is excluded. So some of the things that they did exclude on the project were testing, permitting, and city-imposed fees, meaning permitting fees, which we've already worked with the city of Graham to get our permits. That's worked fine. Testing, we do have to do some testing in there when we're doing some saw cutting, but that will be the responsibility of the county, so that always is. It's a third-party testing that does that, so that's always fine. That's fine for me not to include that in their contract. The other one was sealing the concrete at the shop area and leaving the floor as existing. So again, they're just clarifying. If you remember the layout of the building, we're adding a bunch of administrative offices with a second floor mezzanine. And then there's 2 bays, what I call 2 bays of that shop that'll be left over. We're just leaving that flooring as it is. Again, that's what was specified in the plans, and that's what they're clarifying here. Other than that, fire lane striping, utility work, and then fire suppression, those are not required on this project, so we're okay with those exclusions. I do want to call to attention one of the inclusion that they included on their bid. And this is where I feel like we can figure out how to get back down closer to our amenable budget that we originally set out on this project. So a few things that they have included, which is obviously the structural steel, the frame, and the exterior transaction window. The new window that we're putting in for the drive-through, there's some steel framing that's got to go in there. They do have that included, just as a clarification. Then also any of the interior windows, we've got some larger interior windows that they've got some structural steel to go around that. HVAC allowance, they needed some additional clarification, and it was one of those where we talked with this contractor, and it was too late to really send out a massive, what we call addendum to the project. But they needed some clarifications on the mechanical, the HVAC system that they're putting in there. So what they have put in there is actually an allowance for $125,000. In talking with some other local contractors around here, we know that those costs are significantly less. That is a really inflated cost because they didn't get any true hard numbers on that. So we've got an opportunity to potentially go back and save money on the HVAC system. The second one being the electrical allowance at $142,650. Again, the voltage that's coming into the building and right now is currently a three-phase, or a single-phase service, and then we have larger transformers that are stepping all that up to a three-phase service. Our intention is to get rid of that three-phase service coming into there and just utilizing the existing single-phase service. There were some clarifications that they needed on that. The timing was too late, so we put in a budget for that. Again, knowing that there's some local contractors here that we've talked to about the electrical system, that could be significantly less than that. We've just got to get these clarifications worked out. The flooring, the epoxy paint, which is an epoxy paint area that we talked about, they didn't have any existing specifications on that, so they did a $10 a square foot allowance for that. And then any stucco at the exterior wall, so there's some existing letters that are mounted to that existing stucco. They did clarify that they're going to patch and repair where we're removing those letters and then installing different letters in other areas. So again, looking at this overall bid, the inclusions with that, we feel that they have included everything possible to get this project completed. The exclusions do not concern me because those are things that we really didn't expect to begin with. So how do we get to this net difference of the 800 versus the 1.15 that we're looking at? Like I mentioned, some of their inclusions, I do feel like there's some areas that we can save quite a bit of value with the HVAC systems, with the electrical systems. We've just got to continue to work through those processes with this specific contractor, hopefully. The other question that always comes up when we receive one bid is, well, how do we know that this is a legitimate bid because there's nothing to compare it to? Again, my original estimate on the project was around $800,000. Just there's so much volatility happening. I feel like we can get this back down another $150,000 to $200,000, which gets us within around 10% of where our original budget was. And I do feel like the volatility in the market within 10%, we're pretty darn close. So it's just a matter of how we move forward to work with this contractor and potentially work with this contractor and get these numbers back down and bring back a fair value back to the county. Hopefully once we've worked through that. So, is there any questions about the bid itself?
Even at 10% less, you're still looking at over $300 a square. You've already got the slab and outside structure.
$300 a square. That building is, I believe, around 7,400 square feet, right around 7,000 square feet.
You're just enclosed, you're just working on that of it, so.
It's about 60% of the ground floor. Also keep in mind that we're adding a full structural system in the middle of that building to create that storage mezzanine up above it.
It's just like a 40-acre setting, so you're just working on a 3,300 square foot area. Way over that.
I mean, yes and no. Again, it's just extreme volatility in the market that we're seeing right now. I've got a project down in South Texas right now that we just got bids back on 2 weeks ago. And now it is a 7,800, so almost 8,000 square foot existing pre-engineered metal building. We're not gutting the entire interior, but we're taking out quite a bit of the existing interior. That project just came in at $2.4 million. So it's not something that I feel is isolated here to Young County. It is I want to say a regional thing. It's not a global problem that we're seeing in commercial construction right now. It's just costs. Being a little bit more remote, like you guys are, there's so much work in the larger metropolitan areas but people aren't willing to travel much anymore, so it is tough for us to get a lot of contractors to a smaller municipality like you guys. But we're doing our best. We're trying to put it and broadcast the net as wide as we can. I have worked with this specific contractor on a small project in Bridgeport many years ago. They do a lot of work around this area, and they've got a really good reputation of just being fair and opening the books and just letting you guys see where they're at with everything. But it's really up to the court on what we intend to do with the project. I see two ways potentially to move forward if we wanted to, and that is, I don't know how familiar everybody is with construction manager at risk methodologies, but I have printed off just a small snippet out of a large manual. This comes from the 2013 Texas Municipal Procurement Laws, made easy. So basically all of this information is based off of the local government code regarding construction manager at risk. There's two options I feel that we could look at. One is construction manager at risk. I've talked with this contractor. We've evaluated all their existing bids. If we wanted to go construction manager at risk with this potential contractor, basically what they're looking at is the 1.15 budget or proposal they put together. That is a guaranteed max, right? They know that is the top end of how they would get this project done, and everything else we try to work with would bring that back down closer to our budget. The second option is, again, just moving forward with the hard bid that they've given, but taking those two clarification items, being the HVAC and the electrical items, and because this is a proposal and not a true bid, and we word our things carefully, so proposals we can negotiate. So we take those two budget items and try to renegotiate those. I can come back to court with hopefully a better value. I don't know that we would get all of the potential savings back because they're going to be cautious of any existing demo or anything they may happen to find when they get in there. But there's two ways, like I said, we can potentially move forward. One being construction manager at risk with that top end number, and then everything's open book, right? At that point, everything that construction managers see or perform, you guys see that. And it's basically what I call a cost plus type scenario, but with that guaranteed maximum number. Again, the other option being just trying to negotiate with them based off of this proposal to bring those couple of budgetary line items back into play, and try to see if we can get some cost savings out of that.
Well, last meeting we did with no bid contract of outside the unit, 31,000. Is that part of the 125,000 allowance?
No.
Which one?
Air conditioning units.
Outside of air conditioning units.
In his inclusion right here, you put in there that the outside, the existing units are not part of the bid.
That is correct, yes, because the existing units that were there were not designed to be replaced. We were gonna try to reuse them, but once we got them fired up and started, we realized that that was outside of the scope.
One of the things, I think we ought to try to renegotiate, just try to fine tune it a little bit. And I think also in that period of time, we need to fine tune where we are on our ARPA money so that we know exactly, what we have left on that.
And I think if you'll let us go ahead and try to get some different bids and stuff and some other stuff, I think we can do some other prices too.
Yeah, I think over the course of the next couple of weeks, trying to negotiate with them. Commissioner Wiley's been discussing with some local folks, the air conditioners you were mentioning. That's a great price for the existing air conditioning replacement. I'd love to see what he can do for us on the new air conditioning units. We know the contractor has $125,000 plugged in there as a budgetary number. I would like to work with the local contractor, see if we can get a little bit better numbers on that. Ultimately, they still work underneath the general contractor. So that's why I can't tell the general contractors, you gotta use these people, but I can at least put them two together and see how close we can get. And that's what I would like to do over the next couple of weeks, see if we can get this proposal number back down while you, like I said, guys are working on what your total ARPA funding is.
That sound like a good plan? Sound like a plan? All right, let's go with that route.
Yeah, absolutely, not a problem. Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. We'll have some good news next time.
If you don't mind, I'd like to skip to item number 9 in our packet, which is, let's see what it's, Adam, why don't you come on up? Adam's gotta get back to work, so I wanted to, there it is, okay. So, item number 9, discuss and consider a proclamation supporting Operation Greenlight in Young County for the week of November 5th through November 11th. The proclamation is supporting Operation Greenlight in Young County, whereas the residents of Young County have a great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces, and whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who have served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedom and the way of life enjoyed by our citizens, and whereas Young County seeks to honor those individuals who have paid the high price for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all, and whereas the veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, veterans of foreign war, religious groups, civil service, and its county veteran service officers to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. And whereas approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually, and whereas studies indicate that 44 to 72% of service members experience high levels of stress during the transition from military to civilian life, and whereas active military services transitioning from military service are at high risk for suicide during their first year after military service, and whereas Young County appreciates the sacrifices of our United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be given. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Young County Commissioners Court, duly acting in its capacity as the governing body of Young County, hereby proclaims November 5th through 11, 2023 as Operation Greenlight for veterans in Young County. And be it further proclaimed that all citizens of Young County are encouraged to recognize and honor all those individuals who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying a green light in a window of their place of business or residence. Pass and approve this 23rd day of October of 23. So basically, this is the week leading up to Veterans Day, and the idea, and this is a movement that started in New York a couple of years ago, and it started to kind of filter through the country, that you put a green light in your window, and you're just kind of supporting veterans and showing support for the sacrifices they made for our country. And I think it'd be something to be neat if we recognize that and put some green lights up here at the courthouse and encourage people throughout the county to support our veterans. And Adam is doing we talked about it during budget time, he's doing an incredible job supporting our veterans, and he being a veteran himself, I wanted him to be here when we discussed this proclamation. We think it's a good idea?
Good idea.
All right, will someone make a motion that we make this proclamation?
So moved.
We have a motion from the entire Commissioners Court. We have a second from the entire Commissioners Court. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are unanimously passed. Can I get everyone to sign this? I'd like to get Adam to get a picture with us. Let you come back behind here, we can all get together for a picture.
Are you sure?
I'd like them to hold the proclamation. You're in the middle.
In the center.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. All right, 1, 2, 3. Couple more, David. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll need to get that recorded, but I'll get you a copy of it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I appreciate y'all letting me skip ahead there. Adam today works at the post office, and I didn't want him to have to miss too much work. So we'll move back up the agenda to item number 7. Discuss and consider employee bonds. Kara L. Smith, Deputy Tax Collector, $5,000. All right, we have a motion from, I think there's one, yeah, motion from Commissioner Rogers. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, this is going to be the most exciting part of our meeting. Item number 8, discuss and consider the equipment ordered through the Graham Fire Department. Jim Don Laurent, our chief, Graham's police chief, and Eric Garrity and Deputy Chief Alshire are here to show us what we agreed to purchase for Young County Fire.
Okay, so here's the new patch, right here.
Yep. Can't hurt anything.
That we had talked about, I just wanted to show y'all what we got, and,
Yeah, they used to be metal back in the
yes,
day.
quite a bit heavier, these are a little lighter,
Yeah.
a little longer. Yes, sir. And, also our extrication tools, this is one, we got the combination, or not the combination, we got the spreaders and the cutters, this is just the spreaders, we decided, the other ones look exactly the same.
So you told me this, I've already forgotten. How many pounds per square inch is the spreader?
22,000.
God, that's a lot of power.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Wiley and I was talking about the batteries on the warranty issue. When we got these batteries, when we started doing the serial numbers and the dates on there, they were at 21. And so they have a 3-year warranty. We got with the manufacturer, and they wrote a letter to you stating that it's at the purchase date, the delivery date. So they'll warranty it for 3 years. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Chief, talk a little bit about how important it is that it's electrically driven by the battery, we don't have compression anymore.
Yes,
all that good stuff.
absolutely. So this is going to help us out a ton, as you know, we don't have that power unit, which with fuel, hoses, and an extra weight to carry. So if we do have a wreck that's off in the ditch, a good ways from where our truck can get to it, we'll have to gather all that equipment, run it down there, take a couple of trips to get back and forth down there. This is going to be so much lighter and easier to just take and go. The working value on it is, battery wise, is going to be 30 to 45 minutes, working real strong with this often. But, that's going to save time and personnel as well.
And so now, every single one of our departments will have the tools, will have extrication tools
Yes, sir.
on them. So that's,
Yes.
I was gonna speak to that, so to give you all the breakout, the total purchase price for all equipment was $177,263. just a little over $177,000. Want to make sure for the record, I give you the breakout. We'll be submitting the formal request for reimbursement, and of course with the auditor, we'll get that done, but I wanted y'all to hear how we're actually breaking it out. So if you remember, one of the things is we were making the county fire trucks healthy for equipment. So the SCBA packs that were outdated on there, the total cost for the whole outfit of them was $71,913, just short of $72,000. Your main expense, and the Chief's gonna help me out, comes in with the actual pack itself, right? They, $7,500 a piece, so $45,000 for all of them. And then the bottles themselves, so you have both the bottle and the replacement bottles, they came out to just short of $20,000, $19,725. So the pack set with all the accoutrements and everything to make it work, right around $72,000 for the packs. In addition, when it comes to the equipment that'll be on the county fire truck, you'll have one set of spreaders, one set of cutters, and then the batteries associated with it.
Yes, sir.
As far as distribution to the volunteer fire departments, each of the following departments, Salt Creek, Newcastle, and Murray, will receive the following distributions of equipment. One rescue spreader, one rescue cutter, and then 2 charging stations and the associated batteries. As the fire chief mentioned, you'll have the equipment, and then you'll have at least one spare battery for it, which will extend the operational time of it. And then particularly between calls, it becomes important as they're recharging to go out on call and come back. So the total for just the equipment side that's going to the volunteer fire departments, $78,675. So roughly it breaks out, the total is $100,000 to replenish the equipment on the county fire truck, and then the other $78,000 is going directly to the volunteer fire departments. And I realize I'm hearing you talk about the ARPA money, but I know it's really hard to find ways to make all this work, right? And $178,000 is a lot of money. But if it gets somebody to the hospital,
Take somebody's life.
Oh, yeah.
and you guys should get a lot of credit for that. Making this a priority.
Thank you.
The cool thing about these new tools, the cordless, is the movability that you can take and move, and what it gives you when you're out there working on a car. Because with that light hose, the hydraulic hose on there, it gives you restrictions in different areas, in different ways. This is so much quicker, faster, and easier.
Yes, sir.
So I know that y'all know this, but I didn't know this coming into this job, just the sheer number of calls that y'all respond to for the county, and then our volunteer fire departments get called out for it. It's not just the fires, it's wrecks, I mean, it is every day that tones go out. And so it's, I think it's really important that we're getting this equipment out to the people that are protecting them. Yeah. So I think this was a great use of our ARPA money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir, thank you. And we will be having training that.
Yeah, I was gonna-
Yes, sir, October 28th from 9 to noon, maybe a little later.
Okay.
Y'all will come out here. We'll be cutting up some cars at the precinct yard here.
Yeah, the good
I want to be a part of that.
Come on.
That's the good thing about this is it gives an opportunity for the county and the city to work together.
Yes, sir.
And when you're on a site like that, on the grant, y'all working together and being ahead of time makes it better when you get there after on that way.
Yes, sir.
So,
Well, Eric, Cheryl, and I will get together. We'll get the numbers fine tuned, and then we'll present those final totals just so we can ratify that expense out of ARPA money. And I know we've already approved it, but we'll get the exact down to the penny, and we'll ratify it in court. You bet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Oh, we want to
Y'all mind if I get a picture of the stuff?
Yes. Yeah. How do you want to do it?
Just right here on the table is
All right,
fine.
he wants to get a picture.
I just want pretty cool stuff, so.
Oh, get Stacy in there. He's our model.
Oh, you're in it too, Judge, don't worry.
You need to.
I'll get with y'all this afternoon.
That's cool.
Go get
Get out of here. You gonna come out there and run?
Huh?
You gonna come out there and run?
Absolutely. 100%. Item number 10, discuss and consider the Texas Historical Commission Texas Preservation Trust Fund reimbursement request form for grant reimbursement. This was the study of the 1921 jail that Carl Komatsu presented to us some time ago. And then we broke that cost out to better manage the funds that we have. But I just wanted the court to ratify it before I sign this to send it off. But you have anything to say about it, Susan?
So this is an interim request, so we're asking for a $12,000 reimbursement. So it's dollar for dollar match. We've paid $24,000 thus far, and so we're just asking for half that cost to come back to us.
And then there'll be a second bill from Komatsu for the project. They broke it into two parts so that it could fit our budget a little bit better. But then we'll follow up with that after we get this reimbursement.
Right. They'll provide a second invoice for $5,600, and then we will provide the state with 3 copies of the report as mandated by the grant, and then we'll turn in that next reimbursement request. So we'll be back on
So we're asking the court to approve this the grant reimbursement form, which I'll sign and then you'll submit, right?
that.
So do we have a motion to approve this? We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Rogers. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So I'm going to give this to the clerk. She's going to mark it up, put it in the packet, and then you can pick this up from Ann to submit in, or I can sign a second one for you. We'll figure out how we want to
All right, thank you much.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Item number 11, discuss and consider new contracts for inmate housing with Bell, Baylor, and Throckmorton counties. Tim Meek did a good job of recreating our contracts. 2 of our contracts, one was from 2017, the other was for 2018. Bell County was only a year old, but we had to recreate those old contracts to make the changes. Both Baylor and Throckmorton County was where we are charging them $45 a day. The proposal is that we now up that to $60 a day. And Bell County, what did we go up to on that?
75.
We went from 70 to 75. So I have these contracts in here for your review. Sheriff, you've spoken to all the counties. This is not going to catch them by surprise. And we're still, I mean, it's a value to these other counties to send their people here. I mean, there's plenty of other counties charging more, but I don't know, I think this is the right move to it's expensive housing these people, and especially with the raises that we gave all of our jailers, the new food contract, which is more expensive that we put in, and just the wear and tear on our jail.
I think the whole economy, we have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was good.
Sorry?
Everybody was good.
Everybody was good. I mean, they knew it was coming. Bell County was, they didn't even, he didn't lock on that at all.
Yeah.
So, I'm asking the court to ratify these contracts that Travis and I will sign and send to the other counties. Do we have a motion? We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. We have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. Is there any question or comments on it? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. I'll get these executed, get them stamped in and everything, and then I'll get them to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Well, have a
Travis.
good week.
Okay, so this is really on the same lines. This is item number 12, discuss and consider the agreement for inmate health care with Graham Medical Associates. We approved this back. This is just
been
ratifying the
approved. This is-
signed agreement.
Right, just to ratify the signed agreement, it's all working well.
So yeah, like we approved this at a previous meeting, but the
Yes.
contract has been executed now, and so just for our records, I was gonna ask that we ratify it.
Yes, everything's changed.
Yeah, sign right there.
I didn't have one with the colors.
All right, so did someone make a motion? Okay, motion from Commissioner Wiley, a second from Commissioner Rogers. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. I just like to get these things ratified in the executed contracts in our minutes. I probably don't have to do it that way, but you could. Okay, so item number 13, acknowledge the oath of office and deputation. I'm not saying that right. For Christy Moore from the Tax Assessor Collector's Office. Christy moved she was in our clerk's office, and she has moved over to our Tax Assessor Collector's Office. And in your packet, you see where she has taken her oath and received her certificate, or Christy has deputized her. We have a motion to acknowledge her oath of office. Motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 5-0 accepted on that. And we'll be getting something, I think, soon, because Ann has replaced her with Walter Harvey in the clerk's office. And Walter started last Monday, right? So he's got a week under his belt, and it was a great first week. I think Ann hit it out of the park with her replacement of Christy. So both groups got a good person. All right, so item number 14, discuss and consider resolution number 105, fiscal year 24, the Texas Department of Agricultural Texans Feeding Texans, which is the home delivery meal grant program. Also in the packet is the Young County Alany Senior Club Center $350, which we contribute to their budget for basically it's Alany Meals on Wheels. That's resolution 106, fiscal year 24. And then the Texas Department of Agriculture, Texas Feeding Texans Home Delivery Meal Grant Program for the Young County Senior Citizens Association, which is $850. So this is something that this court's done in years past, but where we are basically ratifying and signing off on these meals, mobile meals, mostly for elderly people, but other people get them too. Do we have a question, or anyone have a question or observation on these? If not, we'll, Commissioner Wiley made a motion, and Commissioner Cresswell has second accepting these resolutions. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0. Are there just two in here? Should be three? There's just two, okay. One from Alany and one for the rest of the Young
They
County.
those in the budgets, but they have to file that with state.
Gotcha. Thank you. What's this? Oh, perfect. Okay, item number 15, discuss and consider application permit to cross county road to construct a pipeline or utility on Phillips Ranch Road. This is Commissioner Cresswell's item.
I got with Barrett on this, it's down toward the end, it's just dirt, they made a cut, they're putting in that new gang fence on the, what would be your east side of Phillips Ranch Road all the way down through there. And where they were gonna do the subdevelopment at one point is sold and has a family that owns it now. And they're not subdeveloping it, they're gonna high fence it and build a home in there, so they're needing another water meter, so that's what they got them doing. So I'd like to make a motion to accept this application.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell and a second from Commissioner Shipp. Are there any questions or comments or concerns? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 16. This is discuss and consider the mixed beverage permit that was incorrectly issued to the Bend LLC and filing an injunction against the Bend LLC. This is not necessary, but let me tell y'all what happened. The Bend LLC applied for and received a full alcohol mixed beverage permit, but they're in the dry part of Young County. And it was incorrectly issued, and we spoke to the person who received the permit. We spoke to the TABC, and everyone kind of got on the same page. And so the Bend is going to release or surrender the alcohol permit. The TABC has agreed to take the cost of that permit and apply it to the private club permit, which is the appropriate permit for that part of the county. And the TABC has also stated that all the postings and the notifications and everything that was done for the initial application process is still good for the private club, and they're gonna apply all the money. The Bend is not gonna be out any fees. They're gonna be able to apply it to the correct thing. Hey, everyone's working together. Everything's worked exactly how you hoped it would work, and happy ending to a very confusing situation. But there's really nothing to do on this. I just wanted everyone to be aware of what was going on. So, but TABC, they're not the easiest people to work with. It's, anytime you're dealing with a governmental agency, they are, yeah, exactly. And they, trying to find a decision maker is very difficult in a bureaucracy. But we found the decision makers and we got everything approved, and so it's all good. Item number 17, discuss and consider burn ban restrictions. Any thoughts on that?
I think we're doing good.
That's good.
I've had a couple of fires, that's it, nothing good.
Yeah. We're supposed to get a bunch of rain this week, I think.
I think we're
So,
good. I think we're good.
yeah, I mean, even with everything kind of greening up and everything, we're still having fires. But is this a non-action from the court? Okay, so we'll remain out. We're not in a burn ban. I will note that I felt like I was an official part of the county this week. I was coming back from Nortex, and I drove by on the road. I don't know. Is that what goes to Wichita Falls? Is that 281? The burn ban thing was down, and so I had bought a toolkit at the Murray Volunteer Fire Department fundraiser, and I got to take the cellophane off of it and fix the sun. So.
Good job.
Yeah. Well, we need to fix that one too? Okay. Well, I might can use my tools on that. So, the next item on the agenda is to adjourn, but we do have a supplemental agenda item. So, we need to discuss and consider the renewal of the fire suppression emergency service contract between Young County Rural Volunteer Fire Departments and Young County. So this is something that we're supposed to do every year. I think we did it 2 years ago. Is that right, JD?
Yeah, we
And
wound
we
up
did-
being without one for 11 months.
And then, but you're using you're using this to get for applying for grants?
Well, actually, special surplus, we use special surplus stuff, get tires and stuff at a discounted price. And we're reapplying for that. We have to do that every 3 years, our application to receive that property. And we have to prove we get funded from a government entity to be able to receive that property.
Now,
And
Jake-
we talked that we was without a contract.
So JD's the one who discovered we hadn't updated this, and he ran around on Friday and got all of our volunteer fire chiefs to sign off on this, just in time for you to drive up and pick up your new engine.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
We found a new ladder truck to replace our one that had cratered 2 years ago. I think it's gonna be a good addition to the county. I hope we don't, I told the guy I bought it from, I said, I may be the cusp of all the county in 6 months by fixing it, but we haven't had to have a ladder truck since our old one went down. And if we have structure fires where we're gonna have this, everybody's gonna blame me, but it's something that we don't use that much, but when we need it, there's nothing that'll replace the ladder truck.
Well,
And it'll back up the city on theirs, the city has their city contracts where they can take theirs out. We'll be in a county entity, our mutual aid will work with all the counties around with that unit, same as Will Brush Truck, Jack Bear Calling, we go.
So do we only have 3 ladder trucks? Murray, Alney, and Graham? Those are the
Alney
only-
don't have a ladder truck.
Alney doesn't have
This
one?
is going quietly,
Really?
yeah. For
Huh.
a, this is
They
a,
don't have big buildings over
this is a countywide entity thing. so,
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. For
Thanks.
spending your entire weekend retrieving.
And that goes back to our budget increase. I mean, we had that in our budget, so we thank y'all for supporting us.
there. Tell them how cheap it was.
It was.
Tell them how cheap it was.
This is what we have in our, this is what we have in the budget. This is what all the different.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right on. All right, do we have a motion to approve or to renew our fire suppression emergency service contract between our county rural fire departments and Young County?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Wiley, second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Gentlemen, if you'll sign that. I see no other business. We have a motion to adjourn. Motion from Wiley to adjourn. We have a second? Second. Second from Shook. All in favor? Since we're out of the meeting, Kyle and Allen, was it Tuesday that we were gonna meet with the investment?
Yes,
funds?
tomorrow, 11.
Yeah, so we talked last meeting about a new way to invest in funds. Kyle and I are gonna meet with the group to hear their presentation on Tuesday. That'll work. I need you to sign these and I'll get them, put it over our system, and then I'll get that on track. Who's that?
Hey, Grant.
Where'd you meet?
Russell Taylor.
Oh, Russell Taylor, yeah. Yeah, Russell, at the, anything Russell would say about me
It's a
is,
lot.
well, he's 500 times worse. I mean, I was,
You were a saint, huh?
compared to him.
He said nothing, he said nothing bad. He said never did anything.
I was. I was afraid of my own shadow.
Big old boy.
Yeah, he's a big weightlifter.
Everybody's being good.
Or you know what? Yours are black. I wanna make copies of these, and use copies to run through, so we can have the originals to send to these people.
I think you just want that small problem, because if you put take work.
So when we send this to, y'all can do this to Shane. Y'all, we call Shane, get that.
Okay.
Sir. Good. Yeah. You don't have a license, do you?
Fire department, then? Did you
Huh?
got it? You got that?
Yeah, but see, he got it, he got it in.
The
Of
trial?
course, it's got it on.
Yes, we're still on. I give it a 75% chance of